Look, everyone is going to tell you that email and SMS marketing is a gold mine. But what if I told you that most of the best practices that you see online are actually ruining your conversions? See, I audited hundreds of Klaviyo accounts from brands doing 6 all the way to multiple 8 figures. And the vast majority of them are losing a ton of revenue because they're still following outdated strategies that don't work anymore. When we install the system I'm going to be outlining in this video, their email revenue starts to go up by 200%, 300%, and in the example of this brand, 889% in just 30 days. On average, our clients generate between 35 to 50% of their total revenue from email or SMS. In this video, I'm going to outline the exact system that added well over 8 figures in extra revenue for our clients. All you have to do is just copy this system and you will see your revenue go up in as little as 2 weeks. Most importantly, these are strategies that are working for some of the top e-com brands right now. This is not some basic send plain text emails or A/B test your subject lines kind of nonsense. Best of all, I'm going to give you 5-hour in-depth masterclasses completely free of charge. Each of these is about 50 pages of in-depth, up-to-date, and actionable strategies that you can use in your email and SMS program right now to generate more revenue. So who am I? My name is Hussam and I've been in digital marketing for 15 years and in e-com for over a decade. I've generated well over 8 figures in extra revenue for our e-com clients. I've also spent millions on paid media and I've had my own stores in the past as well, one which I was able to scale from 0 all the way to 7 figures in less than 16 months with a very, very minimal budget. I'm also the founder of Power My Marketing, which is a full-scale email and SMS marketing agency, and we like to work with ambitious, cool e-com brands and help them continue to scale profitably using email SMS. So before we go into more details, I wanted to talk about the 9th wonder of the world, which is leverage. Archimedes said, "Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum on which to place it, and I shall move the world." I'm only going to be sharing the highest leverage strategies in this video that will have the highest impact on your revenue. And I'll leave the split test your buttons advice to other YouTubers. So generally speaking, the Pareto principle states that 80% of the results, in this case revenue that you have, will come from only 20% of the actions that you implement. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the absolute best strategies that are making our clients money right now. Now that's out of the way, let's get into it. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is deliverability. And I want to show you why deliverability is very, very important, because if your emails are not hitting the main inbox, if they are delivered in the promotions tab or the spam folder, then literally nothing else matters, like Metallica likes to say. And it seems that nobody cares about this until it's too late and their deliverability is in the gutter. So here is one example of why deliverability is crucial for your brand. So the first scenario, you have we send the same email to the same 10K subscribers, and then you have the great deliverability filter. So the first brand has poor deliverability and only 30% of those subscribers are going to see their emails. And let's see that they have a revenue per recipient of $0.5. So the email is going to be generating $1,500. In the second example, we send the exact same email to the exact same list, but because they have good deliverability, then now 70% of their audience are going to see, or these subscribers are going to see their email. And with the same revenue per recipient, we're going to be generating $3,500. So same email, same list, same revenue per recipient, but $2,000 extra. Now imagine if you are sending 10 or 12 emails per month, how much revenue you're leaving on the table. And you can extrapolate that to 12 months and even more. So the how of deliverability, again, deliverability is a very, very complicated subject, but this is the meat of it. This is the most important thing that will ensure that your emails land in the main inbox for your subscribers. So email providers like Gmail and Yahoo use what I call positive feedback loops. This is the PFL, and negative feedback loop, the NFL. And I'm not talking about the sports here. I'm talking about the signals that you send to these email providers that they either consider positive or negative. The more positive signals you send to email apps like Gmail and the less negative signals you send to them, the more and more of your emails will land in the main inbox. And you can see the benchmarks here. So in terms of positive, if your open rate is above 33%, again, open rate is not as reliable anymore because of Apple's mail privacy protection. But yeah, generally speaking, if it's above 33%, it means it's good. Click rate should be above 1.2%. Again, it depends on the month. It depends on what promo or campaign that you are sending. The bounce rate needs to be below 1% and ideally much, much below that. I don't like high bounce rates because it will give a signal to these email apps that maybe you bought some of your email subscribers, or maybe you bought a list, or maybe a lot of them are even like bots, not even real human emails. So be very careful with the bounce rate. And and subscribe rate needs to be below 0.3%, and the spam complaint rate needs to be below 0.01%. So if you manage to have these benchmarks here, then you are sending positive signals to these email apps. However, if your open rate is below 33%, your click rate is below 1.2%, bounce rate above 1%, and subscribe rate above 0.3%, and spam complaint rate is above 0.01%, then you are sending negative signal to these email apps, and they are more likely to penalize your future emails and put you maybe either in the promotions tab or the spam folder. So this is the simplest way to think about deliverability. If you'd like more information, I included a free guide in the description below with more details. So the second thing you need to think about is lead capture. And aside from deliverability, this is the most important thing for your email and SMS program. If I was only given one thing to optimize or change in an email and SMS account, this would be it. This is very, very important, because the more leads you can capture and nurture, the more revenue you will make. And the objective here is to convert as much of your traffic, the traffic that is landing on your website, convert as much of it as possible into leads. And this is especially important if you are spending money on ads. So if you are paying for your traffic, then it would make more sense to prioritize trying to convert as much of that traffic as possible into leads, because then you can communicate with them and contact them multiple times. With ads, you have to spend every time you need to reach those people. So I included an example here of brand A, let's say, that has a website without lead capture, so they are not capturing emails or phone numbers, and the brand B, which has some sort of lead capture mechanism. So you can see brand A on the left here, they have website traffic. Let's say they are spending money on ads, and you have the standard 3% conversion rate. Again, it depends on your industry, sometimes 3, 4, 5, and sometimes even less than that. Depends also on your average order value. So let's say their Facebook ads or Meta ads, they are generating 2.5x ROAS, which is pretty good. It's not that bad at all. And then you have the brand that has some sort of lead capture. So you have the same website traffic coming via ads, but then instead of converting 3% to customers, then you convert 10 to 15%, sometimes even more with some of our clients, into leads. So either email or SMS subscribers that you can nurture. So you put them in the welcome flow, and then you can nurture them through multiple emails. And then you will notice that your immediate ROAS has increased from 2.5x on Meta to 3x and maybe even more. And the reason this happens is that the people who were going to buy anyway, they're going to go ahead and buy. But then the people who are still on the fence, maybe the people who are still undecided, maybe checking other similar products from your competitors, when you nurture them through a proper welcome flow, then you will be able to convert them. And that will increase your conversion rate and also increase your return on advertising spend at the top of the funnel. And this is just the immediate. We're not even talking about post-purchase and LTV. And when you have the post-purchase flow set up, and then some loyalty automations and then campaigns, then you will have repeat customers, increase your customer lifetime value, and most importantly, increase your profit margin. And your return on advertising spend increases from 2.5x. This is long-term return, so you might not be able to track that via Meta. It depends on the window you are tracking. Maybe you're just having like 30 days, but you will increase your long-term return on advertising spend, let's say to 4x. And then what happens is that you can spend more and more at the top of the funnel to scale your brand faster. And the reason why is because if your competitor's LTV is, let's say, $100, then they can only spend up to $100 before they break even and then start losing money. But if you can get people to buy multiple times and increase your customer lifetime value to even like $150, for example, then you can afford to spend more at the top of the funnel to acquire a customer. And I believe that the brands that can afford to spend more to acquire customers are going to be the most competitive in the industry, because your competitors cannot outlast you, because they'll be losing money for a while before they go bust. So let's say, for example, that the brand A on the left is spending $10,000 a month and they are getting 2.5x ROAS. So they are generating $25,000. And let's say brand B, with all of the email and SMS setup that they have, are generating a 4x return on advertising spend. That will translate to $40,000 instead of $25,000. That is $15,000 in extra revenue that you can use to either improve your product, maybe hire better staff, or even spend it at the top of the funnel to acquire customers faster and scale. So we talked about the why. Now let's talk about the how. And this is the 80-20 of lead generation. So I included a pop-up on the left here of one of my absolute favorite brands that's called Athletic Green. I'm a customer of theirs as well. And you can see here that they have a opt-in mechanism where they collect email addresses, and they're offering a free gift in exchange. So the simplest way to start for you is to have a pop-up on your website and ask for email and SMS. So I would recommend that you don't ask for them on the same screen. So you do like what we call a multi-step opt-in. Collect the email first, make sure you have it, and then collect the SMS, because the more fields you have on one particular screen, the more friction you have and the less opt-ins that you're going to have. So make sure to collect them separately. Collect the email first, make sure that you have it, and then collect the SMS. And then offer some sort of incentive, whether it's a percentage off, like get 10% off, get $1 off, maybe like, for example, get to $20 off when you spend $100, or maybe get a free gift like Athletic Greens is doing here. So they are saying 10 travel packs plus vitamin D3, K2 free with your first order, which is a very, very valuable offer. And the objective is for you to convert about 10 to 15% of your website's traffic into leads that you can nurture and convert into first time and then eventually repeat customers. So if you're getting less than that, it means that there are a few things that you can improve on the offer side, the copy side, the graphic side in order to improve your opt-in rate. So if you'd like some advanced strategies that helped us 4.5x the opt-in rate of a client of ours, I also included another link in the description with an in-depth masterclass that has everything I know about lead generation for e-commerce. So let's jump to the third most important thing, which is going to be flows and automations. And the reason is simple. These automations can generate up to 25% of your revenue on autopilot. I have yet to see truly passive income in my 15-year career, but if there was such a thing, this would be it. Check out this screenshot from one of our clients. So you can see here that they are generating 67.03% of their total revenue from email and SMS. So you can see here that 79.91% of their email and SMS revenue is specifically coming from flows. That means that this client is generating 53.55. So that's more than half of his total revenue just from these flows. This is how important these flows are. So now let's talk about the how. There are dozens of flows that you can set up. However, these 10 core flows will be responsible for probably 80 to 90% of the potential revenue you're going to be generating from flows. So don't worry about the rest for now. Just focus on setting up these 10 core flows. So I like to group them by basically phases. So there are the pre-purchase flows. So this is before someone places an order. We have the post-purchase immediately after someone places an order and a couple of weeks after. And then we have the loyalty, which is more long-term flow. So the pre-purchase, we have the welcome flow. This is literally the most important flow. It will be the highest revenue maker for your email and SMS program. And then you have we're going to do them in terms of priority. So if you had to prioritize, I would start with the welcome flow first and then set up the checkout abandonment. And the reason why is checkout abandonment is one of the highest intent audiences that you can set up. These people are literally one step away from placing an order. So this is very important to set it up as soon as possible. Then you have the cart abandonment. Then you have the browse abandonment, someone who browsed the product, but they have not placed an order yet. And then you have the site abandonment, someone who just landed on your website and bounced without checking any products or adding to cart or placing an order. So these are the pre-purchase. And the objective of these is to increase your conversion rate. The post-purchase, the objective of this is to increase your average order value and also your customer lifetime value, at least the immediate customer lifetime value in the first couple of months, let's say. So you have the post-purchase and then the review request. So it's very, very important to have a premium post-purchase experience for your brand, because what people typically experience, especially if you sell a high AOV product, they experience what's called a buyer's remorse. So their anxiety goes up when they immediately after they place an order because they are not sure, did I make the right decision? Is this product is going to work for me, etc. So it's very, very good to put their mind at ease. It's very, very important to have a very good post-purchase experience. And then you have the review request. So after they receive their order, let's say wait a few days after and then send the review request flow. Generally speaking, it's 2 emails plus 1 SMS or something like that. Try to get some social proof. And we use some sort of social proof, whether it's like reviews or testimonials, in about 80+% of the emails that we send. These are incredibly, incredibly important. So that's why we try to ask for the review as soon as possible. Then you have the cross-sell and the upsell flows. So these are typically when someone receives their order and then they get to use it for a little bit of time. Then what we can do is present them with cross-sells, maybe complementary products to what they have bought, so we can increase basically the immediate lifetime value here. And then you have the replenishment and win back. And replenishment is a little bit different. So it's mostly for replenishable brands. So if you sell, for example, snacks, food, or maybe cosmetics or something like that, then yeah, you can, after maybe a month, people will run out of their product and then you can ask them to replenish. This is very important. But we also create this type of flow even if the client doesn't sell replenishable products. So maybe after 30 days or maybe 45 days, we can trigger a flow that asks people to place another order, whether it's for themselves or maybe a complimentary order for another product, or maybe a product as a gift for one of their family members or friends or something like that. And then you have the win back flow. So the win back flow is a little bit longer, maybe after 2 or 3 months, and it's a last attempt to bring back lapsed customers. So people who have placed an order, but they have not made any new purchases in the last, let's say, 60 or 90 days. So we try to bring them back, check up on them, and potentially offer them what I call the Hail Mary offer, which is our best offer to try to get them back so they can place another order. And then you have the loyalty flow. So these are for people who maybe placed multiple orders with you. You have the birthday and purchase anniversary. And also you have the VIP Ascension flow. And this is very, very important. And let's say after someone places a third order, we can trigger a flow that say, hey, by the way, you are one order away from becoming a VIP. So incentivize them to place even another order, a fourth order. And then once they place the fourth order, then they're going to unlock some perks or benefits, whether it's a lifetime discount or maybe you have like a loyalty programs or maybe rewards programs. You can give them some points or something like that. So these are very, very important for not just engagement, but also in terms of increasing the customer lifetime value. And for a step-by-step guide on how to set up all of these 10 flows, I show you literally all the emails we include in each of these flows, plus 7 additional flows that will turbo boost your revenue. Just click on the link in the description to access the free masterclass. So let's go to the fourth one, which is campaigns. So while flows are automated email and SMS sequences that nurture your subscribers, answer their questions, address their objections, and eventually convert them into first time and then repeat customers. Campaigns are one-off emails or SMS messages that you send to a particular segment of your audience. And I know that the idea of flows sounds more appealing just because they are automated. You can technically set them up and forget about them, and they will continue to convert your traffic into customers. However, campaigns still generate 50% of the total email SMS revenue that we generate for our clients. So they are still very important, even if they are manual and you need to do them on a monthly basis. Check out this example from one of our clients here. So you can see their total revenue was $1,425,000. And then the revenue that is coming only from email, this is on the left, it's the email screenshot, and on the right is the SMS screenshot, because they are using Klaviyo for email and Attentive for SMS. So you can see that 77.67% of their email revenue is coming through email campaigns here. So you can see here that email campaigns were responsible for $350,000, and 24.60% of their total store revenue is coming from email campaigns. This is almost 25% of the total store revenue is coming specifically through email campaigns. On the right here, you can see from Attentive, 66.12% of their SMS revenue is coming through SMS campaigns, and 16.17% of their total store revenue is coming from SMS campaigns. We haven't even talked about the flows or the journeys here. So if you don't have campaigns going out to your segments on a weekly basis, then you are leaving a ton of money on the table. Campaigns will not only increase your conversion rate, they will also increase your average order value and also customer lifetime value, which will make you more profitable and competitive in your industry. So check out some of the email examples that we have sent. You can see the first example, we generated 43,000, 12,000, 24,000, 3,000, 29,000, etc. So please make sure to send at least 2 email campaigns per week. It really depends on the size of your brand, obviously, and the size of your list. We have some clients that send 5 to 6 emails per week. So make sure that you send at least 2 emails per week to your list. So this is the 80-20 of sending high converting email campaigns. On the left here, you can see some of the email examples that we have created and sent for a client of ours that's called Flings. So the simplest way to start is to start with 2 to 3 emails per week, as I mentioned before. Again, if you don't have a lot of bandwidth or resources, you can start with at least one, but stay consistent with it. You need to always stay top of mind because people are super distracted these days, very short attention spans, bombarded by a million different messages. I think the average person sees like thousands of marketing messages every single day on Instagram, on basically online, on billboards, etc. So you need to stay top of mind here. So 2 to 3 emails per week, and then you can target this segment: engaged with your website and email in the last 120 days, plus people who bought at least a couple of times. And what this means, engaged with your website, it means they visited your website in the last 120 days, whether it's they initiated checkout, viewed a product, placed an order, etc. And also engaged with your email. And what this means is that they opened an email in the last 120 days, they clicked an email in the last 120 days, or subscribed to your list. So this is the simplest segment, and it's the one responsible for the majority of the revenue that is coming through our clients' accounts. So in terms of content, you should focus 80% on soft selling and avoid doing too many sales promos. So generally speaking, we do maybe a promo every couple of months, maybe every 3 months. We don't like to do a lot of discounts because it just conditions and trains people to wait for discounts, and we don't want that. We want people to buy full price because that will help us with margin as well. And the more profitable your brand is, the more competitive it's going to be, and the less stressful it's going to be to run. So this is very, very important. I also included a link to the free guide in the description, 50 plus pages. Again, everything I know about how to create high converting emails for e-commerce. It will have a guide on how to create a monthly calendar in less than 20 days or even faster using AI. I show you the exact script I use for ChatGPT. It will also show you the 16 highest converting email types for our clients with examples from brands. These are 45 plus different examples. And then I will show you how to get more email ideas than you know what to do with. So you can literally have unlimited inspiration using these tools that I'm going to highlight in this guide. And then how to target the right segments and much, much more. So click on the link in the description to get this free guide. And then I have a bonus surprise for you. So generally speaking, if you follow the first 4 steps, then you are golden. However, I included this bonus, which is the anatomy of the perfect email. And the reason this is very, very important is that bad emails will build resentment, and you don't want to have or to build resentment with your audience. I've seen this over and over again. So my indicator for resentment is, generally speaking, the spam complaint rate. If you see that your spam complaint rate is going up, it means that you are annoying your audience, and this is not a really good sign because they've gone to the point of reporting your brand as a spam. So be very careful with this. If I audit an email account of an e-com brand and I see this number high, I know immediately that they are sending bad emails. It could also be that you're sending too many emails, but that typically increases the unsubscribe rate. If the emails are really good, but maybe the frequency is too high, generally speaking, people will just unsubscribe because it's too many emails, but they won't have this negative resentment towards your brand. So yeah, just also pay attention to the frequency here. So as I mentioned before, if you send emails that are bad or annoy, then subscribers will have a negative association with your brand. And not only that, bad emails will also result in wasted time and money creating basically those emails and sending them just to result in a negative sentiment. And then they will result in lost revenue because you're leaving money on the table by annoying people, inability to scale profitably, and just unnecessary stress. So please make sure to not send bad emails. And the how is very, very simple. So I included on the left here an email from one of my absolute favorite brands or email programs out there, which is for Grasa. They sell olive oil. And the reason I like it is that the subject line, they typically use curiosity-based subject lines. Here it says, "This is a sign." So it just gets people curious. What do they mean by this is a sign? So people are more likely to open the email. And then the preview text, they say for you to stock up on olive oil. So generally speaking, we like to have 2 different sections or 2 different CTAs or calls to action per email. It really depends on the email. Sometimes some emails require a little bit more elaboration. Then we maybe have 3 sections. But generally speaking, quick, short, to the point, use a lot of curiosity, hooks people to basically click to find out more on the website. And you can see here the top header, incredible branding, colors, fonts, visual elements that all align with other channels. perfectly aligning with their branding guidelines. You can see a simple headline that says refill cans are back in stock. So basically a back in stock email. And then you have a creative action-based CTA. So try to avoid using generic CTAs like buy now or shop now or something like that. So here they say crack a can, which is very funny and very on brand here. And the second section is going to be their offer front and center. So they have the starter kit here. And this is one of the best ways to increase your average order value, is to have like kits or bundles or something like that. So you can see, as I mentioned, their offer front and center, visual elements that enhance their messaging. For example, they use arrows plus a free funnel for easy peasy refilling, which is a benefit. So things to improve in this email. Honestly, this brand is one of my absolute favorites. So this email is absolutely incredible, clean, simple. So I don't have anything to add to it here. And there you have it. If you install these things that I highlighted in this video, you will generate between 35 to 50% of your total revenue from email SMS. And if you'd like our team to help you achieve these results, then I'm happy to offer you a free in-depth audit of your email and SMS program, where I show you exactly what's missing in your account, what could be improved, and how much more revenue you'll be able to generate when all of the improvements are implemented. And this is 8 to 10 pages of expert recommendations specifically tailored to your brand. So click the link in the description to schedule a quick 15-minute call with me. As you can see here, we took Hostery from 12% to 40% of email SMS attribution. And also for Kingsman Premium, we are consistently over 40% of email SMS revenue. We peaked at 53%, and we helped Fleuro Store increase their email revenue by 7x. And you can see more of these video reviews on our website, powermymarketing.com. So if you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. I also included links to the 5 in-depth guides that I highlighted in this video. So you can just click on those links in the description to get free access.